Hello bike lovers. In this video I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of getting a pre-made or a converted e-bike. You should watch this video if you're thinking of buying an e-bike but are unsure of which route you should take. Let's get started. My two bikes that help me make these comparisons are my Riesen Mueller Charger GT and my converted Trek Roscoe 8 with a Bafang BBS HD. I bought both bikes on OfferUp. Both have their pros and cons, but honestly, I love both bikes for different reasons. Let's get to the comparison. Starting off, we have the pros for pre-mades. In my opinion, there's two big pros that pre-made e-bikes have, and that is that they are ready to ride and you have first-party support. You can walk into a bike shop, buy a bike, take it home, and be riding without any hassle. Because the components are designed to work together, the bike should just work without much fuss. Also, if you're buying a quality e-bike, the fit and finish will most likely be nicer than a conversion. One thing I really like about my Charger GT is that the locks for the batteries and the included folding lock are the same. First party support is also great to have too. If your bike is covered under warranty, then if anything breaks, then you can get it straightened out at the dealer. Maintenance intervals are straightforward and documented. Some bikes offer upgrades such as extending your range with bigger, or in this case, 2 batteries. Now for the cons. First, pre-made e-bikes can be hard to repair. Some bikes such as my Charger GT require special tools and knowledge to diagnose and repair electrical problems. The Bosch system on this bike needs proprietary software and tools to read and reset fault codes on the system. Lack of replacement parts also makes pre-made bikes hard to repair. A perfect example is this bike. It has a dual battery system, but one of the batteries doesn't work. When I called my local Bosch dealer, they said that it would cost $75 to diagnose the battery. I asked them, if the battery is broken, couldn't they just repair it? And they said no. While replacement batteries are available, they're over $800. I tried to fix my battery myself and ended up cooking the BMS in the pack. If I could get another BMS board, I could fix the battery, but Bosch doesn't sell these, so my only option is to find one secondhand. If any of you guys know where I can find a Bosch PowerPack BMS, let me know. The second con is the closed ecosystem. Now this isn't the case with all pre-mades, but with my bike it is. I can only use Bosch battery packs on this bike. If I wanted to change the display unit, compatibility is very limited because of the Bosch electronics. Luckily, the display unit on my bike is very nice and it includes many features such as GPS navigation, which I love. The third con is performance. Most pre-made e-bikes have restrictions built in to comply with local laws. This translates to most bikes having speed limiters, wattage limits, or both in many cases. To me, this isn't as big of a deal though, because the feeling of going 30 miles an hour on my e-bike is equivalent to going 80 on my motorcycle. The fourth con is the value. When looking for a pre-made bike brand new, it's hard to get all the features you want for a good price. Brand new e-bikes that are under $2,000 are all hub motors. These aren't bad if you live somewhere flat, but where I'm at, you have to climb hills on a regular basis. This makes mid-drive motors more favorable. The cheapest Trek mid-drive I can find is the Townie Go at $2,449.99. My Charger GT retailed for close to $7,000 brand new. That could be a lot of money for someone to spend when they're just getting into cycling. A good option though is to look for a used high-quality pre-made. I found this bike and many other quality pre-made e-bikes for under $1,000 on OfferUp, Craigslist, and Facebook Marketplace. Now that we went over the pre-mades, let's talk about the pros and cons for converted e-bikes. My bike here is a Trek Roscoe 8 with a Bafang BBS HD mid-drive kit. I bought this bike already converted on OfferUp. The first pro for converted e-bikes is the customization. If you're planning on riding a converted bike, there are an endless number of options to choose from. You can pick whatever style or features to suit your needs. You can also customize the bike later by changing displays, batteries, motor controllers, and more. The second pro is that they are highly repairable. All the parts are normal bike parts except for the electrical system, so parts are easy to find locally. If your motor needs repairs, you can buy parts easily online too. There's also a lot of resources to fix and modify the electrical system on converted e-bikes. The third pro is the performance. Most converted e-bikes have little to no restrictions, so you can go as fast as physics will permit. Another performance item is that you can add a throttle to the bike. Some pre-made bikes have throttles, but many of them, my Charger GT included, are pedal assist only. This bike has both. The fourth pro is the price. Many people have bikes that they are not riding, and converting them is a cheaper alternative to getting a good performing e-bike. You can fit a bike with a mid-drive Bafang BBS02 for under $1,000 in parts. Even if you need a bike to start, you can find great bikes secondhand locally with good components. Now let's talk about the cons. The first one is the technical ability. You need to educate yourself on how to convert an e-bike safely. This includes picking the right parts, knowing how to assemble everything, basic and electrical and mechanical knowledge, and troubleshooting. When I bought this bike, the motor cut out during the test ride because the brake sensors didn't line up with the magnets on the levers. It's a simple fix, but if you don't have the knowledge or willingness to learn, then you're going to have a bad time owning a bike like this. Another aspect of the technical ability is having the right tools. Most bike tools are not very expensive, but they do add to the cost of doing the conversion. The second con is waiting for parts. Some parts you need may not be available at the same time, or they have long lead times. This can mean waiting weeks to complete your e-bike build when you could be riding a Premade today. The third con is the fitment of all the components. Unless you are getting a professional installation, there's a good chance that your conversion isn't going to fit as nicely together as a good Premade. Some of your components may not work together nicely without further modification, and some just may not be as aesthetically pleasing. On my bike, the previous owner glued the brake cutoff sensors to the brake levers, leaving this crusty residue on the levers. I understand that you gotta do what you gotta do, but I don't like how this looks. I'm going to upgrade the brakes to Magura MT5Es, which have integrated brake cutoff sensors. This will give my bike a cleaner look and better stopping power. Unfortunately, the parts I need to do this upgrade are backordered until May in the US. Both Premade bikes and converted bikes are great and are lots of fun to ride. I love them both, but if I had to pick one at full price, I'd go with my Trek Roscoe. I love that I can customize and repair it easily. It's also super fun to ride because of its agility and power. It's great value for money. However, if I had to pick one as my primary form of transportation, cost no issue, I'd pick my recent Mueller Charger GT. The bike feels extremely stable at any speed, the belt drivetrain is super low maintenance, and it also has a CVT internally geared hub transmission. The bike is super comfortable and comes with convenient features such as integrated front and rear lighting, luggage rack, GPS navigation, ride computer, a lock, and fenders. I paid $500 for the recent Mueller Charger GT. I got a good deal on it because the previous owner was having problems with it and he wanted to get rid of it. I paid $1,600 plus a 2015 MacBook Pro for the converted Trek Roscoe 8. It had some minor issues, but overall, it's a great bike. I hope this video helps you make a better decision, and no matter which route you take, you'll have lots of fun riding. Have a good one, everyone, and stay safe.